What's up, people, man? It is your boy Spasciz, and today we got a special one here, man. This is the TimewARP 2600, man. This is a emulator of the ARP 2600 that was created back in 2006. It was the sound of an era, man. It was for electronic music, and it basically bridged the gap between modular and non-modular synthesizers. This is more of like created as like a patch bay type synthesizer. I think that's how that goes. I'm still learning synthesizers. This is like the closest thing that I've had to where it actually emulates a real life old school synthesizer. And so this was like brand new for me. And I'd like to send a big shout out, man, for Air Music Tech. They sent this out to me early. Thank you guys for trusting me with your brand. I know, man, it's, you know, I know these a lot of times be y'all like the company's baby. So I just want to do the best that I can for the company. So thank you guys for sending this out. This is a legacy device. This is one of those ones where back in 2006 when they created this. Now, and before I even get into that, this particular emulator was endorsed by its originator. So the person that originally invented this gave its blessing to send this out in a emulator type form. So definitely dope. And I was going to go somewhere else, but I forgot. This is, like I said, this is a normalized patch design, and it was set up to carry the music forward, man. Synthesizers have been around for a while, and man, they ain't going nowhere. You know, all of the sounds that we hear come from these beautiful synthesizers. Now, this one has 3 VCOs. They're all capable of generating audio band and low frequencies. There is a bunch of other stuff. I don't know all the technical side to this thing, but there's a lot of good stuff here. And what you're going to see here, because I am going to show you what it looked like here. Let's go ahead and flip over. This is the TimewARP 2600. I keep wanting to mess that up. So as you see here, there's a couple different things that you use. There's a lot of knobs. I know a lot of knobs, a lot of sliders, a lot of, all of these wires and all these different things. This is the real life emulation of what this would normally look like in a regular synthesizer. Now, the dope thing about this is that you can go in here and create all these different things here. You can choose different inventors of patches, which I thought was dope, man. I really thought this was dope because each one of these names has such different sounds in it, and I thought it was very unique the way that they did this. This has vintage all over it. Is there synthesizers out there that sounds like these? I'm sure. I am very sure of it. There's a lot of synthesizers out there, but I like this one. This one has a vintage feel to it. So if I play, this is pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. And so what I want to do, man, as I said, I am still learning synthesizers, still learning. So we're going to look at a quick little video that I'm going to be showing you. I have Miles Away. Shout out to them guys, man. Shout out to Miles Away. He has a YouTube page. You should definitely go follow it. He has the perfect example of what this patch bay would sound like. And so we're going to take a look at it and see what he has to offer here. Here we go.
The ARP 2600M. Now, just like the original, this one shares all of the same controls despite it being a modern recreation. It's extremely faithful, so we can learn exactly what made the original so special. Now, the 26.
Now, if you notice, this is set up the exact same way. There's a couple little differences in this, but as far as the actual setup of everything, this is what a real life 2600, ARP 2600 would look like. You have all of these little I ain't gonna say knobs, but you can see all of the sliders, but they have all these plugins that you have. And if you look over here, and you probably can't see it, I will go ahead and go to like the screen here. You see over here, all of these chords. These chords go into these, and each one of them creates a sound in its own unique way. And so this has been fun for me, just learning this stuff. So definitely something that I'm interested in. This may be boring to most people, but I am in love with it. So here we go.
600 is a semi-modular synthesizer with a normalized signal path, meaning that before patching anything, it'll still make sound as long as we turn up one of our oscillators. Now, how the signal flow works.
Now, this is all before any patches or anything dialed in. This is just the regular synthesizer sound. Here we go.
Which is really unique and frankly a little bit confusing if you're starting out or if you're just used to other synthesizers, is each one of these patch points underneath shows you what the normalized patch point is, and then you can break that and replace it by plugging anything in from one to the other. So for example, our oscillator 1 is by default a square, and if we don't want that, we can take oscillator 1 sawtooth, or really anything else on the synthesizer, plug it in, replace our square, and now it's a saw.
Now this is where this got really confusing for me, right? So when he used the word like breakup, that threw me off at first. And so basically, he's basically replacing the original sound there with a sawtooth that's coming from this patch right here. So this patch here goes into this, it breaks this up, and so it's using this line that you use, that he was using originally without anything, and now it's having it. It has a sawtooth sound coming in here. This is just interesting to me. This, like again, this may be boring to most people, but I thought this was interesting. Here we go.
We'll get to patching later, but to start off with, let's go through the signal flow and see how this thing works and how it sounds. So we have 3 oscillators, 3 voltage controlled oscillators. We'll bring them in like this and we'll tune them all. Now there's absolutely no fixed chromatic tuning, meaning you can't tune to semitones. If you want something in tune, you're gonna have to get a reference tone, like a tuning fork, and tune to that, because this is a wild, fully analog free synth. Now there's pros and cons to that, which we'll get to. So next, we'll bring in oscillator 3. Let's bring that one up an octave. Notice how our main initial oscillator frequency is used.
Man, this is so dope to me, bro. Like being able to create that sound from this and to really go in here and dial in the sounds that you want. The TimewARP 2600 works the exact same way. And that's why this is so fascinating, and how the emulator is so close to this real life synthesizer. It's crazy, bro.
For broad control, and then our fine tune is used to fine tune it so it's in tune.
That's crazy.
Now all 3 of these oscillators go into a VCF, and they have their own mixer, including noise and ring mod.
That's just crazy, bro. I want to show you how he was patching this stuff, because that's where it got like real fun for me, when you start doing the patches. All right, so here.
As the modulator for pulse width modulation. A very weird choice, you might say, but thankfully we can break this signal flow with whatever we want. So let's go ahead and have sawtooth from oscillator 3 modulate our pulse width. Now, That is controlled by the current speed and pitch, rather, of the oscillator, which is extremely fast. So the 2600 is incredibly powerful for audio rate modulation because, again, everything can modulate everything. But what if we want something more subtle, like a nice classic LFO modulating the pulse width? Well, in that case, we can actually turn our oscillators, all three of them, into low frequency mode. So what that does, it decouples them from the keyboard and it now makes them extremely slow. So
that's just simply crazy, man. I absolutely love how this is all set up. And I'm going to dig deeper into this to just really know how this all works. And I'm going to definitely bring these out for the people that don't know and want to, you know, that maybe you guys want to invest in something like that. I don't know, but it'll be cool to, you know, to have that knowledge, because I want synthesizers at some point. I definitely want some. But anyway, man, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the actual sound of what this actually sounds like. So I just have a couple options here I want to play. I'm going to play this one. This is the more of a like a arpeggiator pad type deal. So, and I just played some simple chords with it. So here's what it sounds like. Right? This does not come like this. Like the actual preset has most of this, but I added just a couple more, and I don't even know which ones I added. Just kind of playing around just to see what I can get out of it. But I wanted to play around with it just to see. Also, I did this one. This was a bass that I created. And it is going to be here. So this was the bass. Right? So I just had it following the pad. So the bass is just simple. All this is simple. I kind of created this just kind of playing around, man, because I really didn't know what I was doing, if I'm honest. But I wanted to just kind of see what sounds I can get out of it. This one here is more of a like lead arpeggiator kind of deal. And I don't even remember how I created it. Again, just playing around on here and just figure something out. Right? So it's just a weird sound. Really, I had it following this deal here. I'm gonna mute all of this. And I had these two just kind of following each other. So that's all it did. So now, if I play all of those in context, you'll have this. So that's the TimewARP 2600 in all of its uniqueness. The actual sound is so original. I'm going to go in and really just tap into it and really figure out how to use it, because I believe that there is sounds that I can create with it that you probably can't create with a lot of other synthesizers like that. I don't know. I'm gonna take a deep dive into it and see where I come up with. But yeah, man, definitely check the link in the description. If this is something that you're interested in, make sure you click that link. No difference in the price. Just helps the channel out, man. Shout out to the people over at Air Tech Music for sending this over to you, boy, man. And until the next time, man, peace. All right, man. There it is, man. So now you guys have had a chance to witness behind the scenes. Let's go ahead and